Right, a big thanks to our sponsors. Without them, motorsport will not be able to happen. But Byron, here we go with the first of three motorcycle races: the Bridgestone STC 650 and then the Super Sport 300 category. That's the first class of three, or the first group of three motorcycles to roll out onto the circuit. And it's going to be pretty damn good stuff over 9 racing laps.
Yes, a Super Twin Cup for 650s and the Super Sport 300s. And we'll take a look at them as they come out there as well. The 650s, Kakopotso Mononyane is the man on pole position on the ER 650. And Nicholas Hutchings will be joining him with David Enticott. That is row 1. So two Kawasaki's sandwiching a Suzuki. And then we have Lance Jonas on row 2. Edward Rollstone. And then the number 6 there of Rob DeVos. A whole bunch of 650 Suzukis. Nashiv Smart. And Jamie Hall and Ryan Kutsia, they also joined there. Franco Flach in 10th position. 11th is Smit. And I'll take a look there at the, there's a number of Smits that usually join us. That's going to be Gavin Smit. And then tops in the 300 Power Sport class, Super Sport class I should rather say, it is going to be Solomon, number 4. Remember, 2 classes of motorcycles, the Super Twin Cup 650s and the Super Sport 300s. Not Power Sports, like I said earlier on. That's a completely different class. But yes, Adrian Solomon on the Kawasaki Ninja 400. Vainan Donagi going to be mixing it there as well with the 650s and the 300s. But it looks like a strong field, Frankie, of 23 entrants.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty decent stuff out there. The Bridgestone 650s and the Super Sport 300s. And it is Monoyani that is there in pole position. And then we have got Nicholas Hutchings that's there next to him. And then David Enticott, a man that also does the Kawasaki ZX-10R Masters Cup. So we're about to go racing pretty soon. John Green moves a paddle out the way. The lights and pit lane are on. There's a big jump start here by the number 32 motorcycle of Ryan Kutsia. And he might even end up getting penalized for that. Kutsia moving way off the line before the lights even went off. So I'm sure that the powers that be, the stewards, have picked up that one. That there was a huge jump start there, Byron, by Kutsia.
Biggest one I've ever seen in my life, I think, as well. And while we go into turn 2 now, it looks like Hutchings is really pursuing Monoyane. And there they come out through the kink now. And let's see if he's going to have some sort of a lunge into that third turn at Interceptor. Nope, he does not at this particular moment in time. Go on to the Tigerberg straight for the very first time now. It's a very hot challenge as they go into the double apex right-hander at turn 4, Super Sorrel sweep. And then onto that back straight now as we do run. And we got an amazing treat for you guys over here. Going down the back straight, it is going to be Hutchings that will now make the move on Mononyane. Mononyane will go down into 2nd position. There goes Nicholas Hutchings on HSC bike that he is running. And the HSC colors that he will be running over here as well. We have got a major treat for you coming alongside me. Dr. Nick van der Meulen joining us again after a few decades here, it feels like it.
It's been 4 years, but so some of the riders have actually changed out here on track. It's going to be really very interesting to see how much of this I can actually remember. So we are now with 8 laps to go and charging down. The leaders are going through towards turn 2. All right, so engine corner. Quarry, apologies, a quarry corner. Things have changed over here. So Hutchins is really chasing hard there for the lead, and he's looking up on the inside there into Damps. And while charging his way, he's really getting good drive coming down on through to the old BP straight and towards the kink. But he backs off and lines up for the double apex right-hander to come down onto the back straight.
Yeah, Mononyane is really defending hard now, but they're going to go onto the back straight. He comes out of the slipstream there. He didn't have much of a slipstream. And then onto the back main, he'll then run. It's going to be the HSC motorcycle that will take the lead now ever so briefly. Can he keep it, though? That's going to be the main thing over here. They're leaving David Endicott slightly behind, about 6/10 of a second, 6/10 back, I should rather say. But yeah, they come now down to complete another lap. 7 laps will be left to go. They come underneath the City of Cape Town and Wingfield Motors Bridge. But look at this, a hotly contested Hutchings will keep the nose ahead. But onto the inside, surely will come Mononyane. And who's later on the brakes over here? Mononyane will have the nose cut off over there across the bow. Look behind them though. Lance Jonas is having the race of his life over here. I think he might have made it past David Endicott onto the Joubert Straight. No, he has not. He's still currently 4th with David Endicott in 3rd.
Yeah, so Lance Jonas is coming into play here as they break then for Quarry. But about 3 bike lengths there behind Endicott as they go along and battle it out for 3rd place. But the battle for the lead is absolutely fascinating here between the likes of Hutchins and Mononyama. Mononyama was very, very close to the inside on the brakes into turn 1, but now he is trying to go along and wind things up as they go through towards the double apex right-hander. That's Sarah van der Merwe corner now, right?
Super Sorrel sweep.
Super Sorrel sweep down onto the back straight and into the slipstream. He is chopping it up through to the inside. They are side by side now as they go, almost touching each other, elbow to elbow, onto the brakes into turn 5 and around the outside. Hutchins is later on the brakes and he managed to swoop around the outside and shut the door.
Just taking a look at what's happening in the 300 class. Adrian Solomon still leads the way. Raymond Alexander will find himself in 13th overall and ahead of Mitch Robinson. That is now the rounding off the podium. And then will be Abigail Bosson also putting in a fine ride over there in 15th position, but 4th in class at the moment. 83 down.
Oh, that's Lance Jonas. Lance Jonas has put it down into Cape Town corner. The yellow flags are being waved. So Lance Jonas, after an excellent start and really pushing hard to go and chase Dave Endicott, it all ends. The race ends there for him in Cape Town corner.
Yeah, it was such a strong ride as well, and he had a fall towards the back end of last year. But yellow flags, like Nick has pointed out, will be waving in that section. We'll keep an eye out for any other flags. But I'm just taking a look at some of the sector times over here. Mononyane, of course, the last time they crossed the line was 400ths of a second, I should rather say. He was fastest, 28.0, 3/10 of a second faster in Sector 1 over Nicholas Hutchings at the moment. The Suzuki was still leading, and he is still leading down the back straight at the moment. They'll go into turn 5. Remember, no passing under yellows. Double waved yellows were waving over there. And, well, they'll have to look out there to see what's happening because they don't want to come into a section where they're going to come passing and the yellow flags are up. But Hutchings will still lead the way. He comes across the line surely now, and it will be 5 laps left to go.
Yeah, they're nose to tail as they cross the start and finish line. And as they charge down towards turn 1, it's Mononyama on the inside on the brakes. And this time round, he makes the move stick. He just manages to keep Hutchins out. Hutchings is trying to nose back up on the inside, but Mononyama is not to be denied. And already pulling out 2 bike lengths.
Well, fastest lap of the race, Nick, a 1:29.80 as they crossed the line for Nicholas Hutchings. He was a 10th of a second faster than Mononyane on that last lap. 84 thousandths of a second between the two of them. David Endicott's a further 5.1 seconds back. And then Jamie Hall will still be holding it there on that number 65 machine, 8.2 seconds further back for him. Edward Rollstone is still in that battle at the moment between the number 65 and number 23 for 4th and 5th positions. At this particular time, Franco Fluch putting in a good ride over there in 7th position, only 0.2 of a second off of Kutsia in that battle in the little bit further down in the 650s.
Yeah, Franco Fluch actually making a return to race here at Kalani. He had his race face on here this morning just before the race, and definitely wanted to go along and perform well here. As well, he's doing pretty well. He's there running in 7th position overall, 2/10 then behind Kutsia in 6th position, and well, with 4 laps to go, there's plenty of time to go along and make some progress. So just knocking off the rust a bit and continuing In the meantime, of course, Abigail Boston then is third in class in the 300 class and has actually passed Raymond Alexander.
Well, that means she's up into third position. And remember, only 7/10ths of a second off of Robinson at the moment, who in turn is 3.9 seconds off of Solomon. Maybe a late charge here from Abigail Bosson, one of the most promising riders here at the Killarney International Raceway. And that's in the 300s class over there. They'll be crossing the line fairly shortly as Adrian Solomon does so right now. He's actually 0.8 of a second off of the last of the group of 650s. But Mononyane, he leads the way, and look at how they cross the line. It's a dead heat between Mononyane and Hutchings, and the fastest lap of a 1:27.04 for Kakapotso Mononyane.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to find them out on track. They are nose to tail, but they've already pulled out 8 seconds over David Entickett in third place. And Entickett has got all over him. Oh, no, actually a further 8 seconds behind. Apologies. So he's got a lonely run in third position. And yeah, they come now. They're coming through the kink onto the main straight. They are still nose to tail. Oh, and Mononyama is having a good go to the inside now. Yellow flags are being waved. So it looks like they got pulled away, and Mononyama actually takes the pass going into turn 1. So it looks like the yellow flags were pulled away just in time, and Mononyama then takes the lead from Nicholas Hutchins, and as they go through towards Quarry now with 3 laps to go, not 3, well, 2 3/4 laps to go, and Mononyama's got it all to do again.
Yeah, it's a number of back markers coming up as well that could play a factor over here. The top 8 have made their way past and through the line now. Gavin Smith ahead of Adrian Solomon will be coming up next. Here they come right now. That is the bottom end of that top 9 into the first of the 300s. Then, of course, Solomon from Robinson, 5.9 seconds back, and Bosson, 0.2 of a second off of Robinson, knocking on the door of that second place in the 300s Supersport class.
Yeah, they're going through turn 1 now, and Boston is there, third, nose to tail. She gets really good drive coming out of turn 1 as now they power up towards Quarry. Robinson actually has to cover the inside line there, going through on the brakes. So Boston is beginning to line him up. She gets good drive there coming out of Quarry, going through the thing down towards them. And they're separated by about 1 bike length now as they go through into turn 3 and accelerate out towards Super Sorrel Sweep and beginning to wind it up, trying to go along and gain that second place. She winds off a little bit and then starts mounting her attack.
Watching the leaders come through now out of turn 2, Quarry. They'll make their way through the kink. Remember, this is this lap and the next lap left to go. Hutchings leads it at the moment on the Suzuki, but Monoyane on the Kawasaki holds his station over there. They're going to come past a few back markers over here. Like I said, they could play a factor, but they'll come down the old Tigerberg straight, then through the right-hander at Saro van der Merwe sweep. Then onto the back straight they will then run. It's only this back straight and the next lap left to go now. And he's got more of a gap this time, Hutchings. Remember, they crossed the line a few times, only within a few hundredths of a second of each other. But let me tell you one thing, this race is not over yet. They go through Pertamina Fastron now and will start their final lap.
In the meantime, the battle is raging for second place in the 300 class. And as they come out now, off turn 1 and power up through to Quarry. Oh, they are really battling it out over there. And Boston, it looks like, has actually made it through. Boston looks like, and Alexander. Alexander has chased through as well. So it looks like Marty Boston, apologies. Abigail Boston has moved through there into second place in class, ahead there of Raymond Alexander.
Ryder was briefly down in turn 3, intercepted corner, but got going again actually. So the yellow flags have been retracted. Well, we look now out on where our leaders are. And it's easy to lose them, but well, Nicholas Hutchings was battling it out lovely there with Kakapotso Mononyane in a royal battle. And it is the final lap of the race, the now or nothing lap. And well, we watch them come around towards the line now. Surely not yet. And, well, let me tell you one thing, a 1:26.85, fastest lap of the race for Hutchings, excuse me. They've been trading those fastest lap times. 0.8 of a second it was between the two of them the last time around on this 9-lap race. So it just shows you how the gap extended. But yeah, to the line now comes Nicholas Hutchings to take the victory ahead of Mononyane by a 1/10 of a second. Mighty stuff. Right, so we look for David Enticott to come through, and that will be quite a bit back over there. I think he's going to be coming through. Is that the number 76 coming through? 78, sorry, I should rather say. 17.3 seconds back in 3rd position in the 650 class. Jamie Hall comes through in 4th position. Franco Fluck, having battled his way up to 5th position in this race, comes across the line ahead of Ryan Kutsia and Nashif Smart. Nashif Smart on the Kawasaki ER650, one of many in this race. And then Gavin Smith should be coming out next as we wait a little while. There's a gaggle of riders going into Pertamina Fastron turn 5. And then, of course, will be followed by the likes of Adrian Solomon, who leads the 300 Supersport class. Here comes Gavin Smith now. That's the number 82 ahead of Solomon. Bosson has made her way up into 2nd place in class. Raymond Alexander comes across the line. Mitch Robinson, Abigail Bosson finishes 11th overall, but gets that 2nd place in class, which I think is mighty effort. One of the most promising riders here at Killarney. Let me tell you one thing, there's a great young bunch.
Yeah, so Mitch Robinson actually managed to recover and gain that position again past Raymond Alexander on the final lap to gain 3rd place in class in the Supersport 300 class. Raymond Alexander, I think, will be a little bit disgruntled, losing up by 1/2 of a second, finishing 4th in that class.